Thank you, Madam Speaker. Colleagues, as we approach the holiday season and the end of Michigan's 100th state legislature, I ask each of you here to pause for at least one moment and think of all the empty chairs at Michigan's family tables this year. We'll have many empty chairs that are recent, related to the COVID pandemic and other illnesses, but today, I stand here to make you aware of the thousands of chairs that have been empty at family celebrations for decades because of our military men and women lost in wars and conflicts who were never found or accounted for. Thousands of men and women enlisted, were drafted, or volunteered to serve and never came home. There are generations of families who have had to live with uncertainty, anxiety, and grief beyond our comprehension. Children who never knew their parent, families who have wondered if they were still in prison in some far-off land, moms, dads, brothers, sisters, friends, and family who have waited years and decades for word of their loved one. In the United States, since World War II, there are 83,114 missing and unaccounted for. Think of that, 83,114 prisoners and missing in action. Thousands of families and generations who have never quit looking and hoping and grieving. Michigan alone has 2,866 military members still missing and unaccounted for since World War II. After the Vietnam War, bracelets became a personal way to remember a prisoner of war missing in action. In the early 70s, I wore a bracelet for a missing Michigan corporal, but I lost track of it and never knew what happened, and I still feel guilty that I lost it. Today, placed at your desk, each of your desk is a bracelet etched with the name of a Michigan military member from the war in Southeast Asia who lived in your district or near your district and is still listed as POW, MIA, missing in action, and prisoner of war. Michigan families from your district have had an empty chair on holidays for far too long, and for those of you who will be returning to the House, serving in the 101 legislature, I ask you to remember these missing, wear the bracelet, and reach out to those families from your area who have never stopped grieving, and tell others about the POW MIA issue. In years past, a black and white POW MIA flag was flown over the Capitol in Washington, as well as over our Capitol here in Lansing. It continues to fly on special days in Washington, but it does not fly in Michigan. The POW MIA flag flew just before the Stars and Stripes, just below the Stars and Stripes, and represents the sorrow, anxiety, and hope of the families, as well as the hope of prisoners and missing. That flag also represented the belief that we will remember them and will not stop looking until we bring them home. I hope you will advocate for the POW MIA flag once again to fly under our Stars and Stripes above our head here at the Capitol, so that grieving Michigan families know that we are committed to support our military and we will never abandon them. The military members of every generation need to know that someone will continue to look for them if they are captured or go missing. We should keep them in our hearts and on our minds every day, just as I am sure they had us and their Michigan home in their hearts and minds every day. So colleagues, I ask for your support of this important resolution.